Big East Buckets, baby. Episode number 1, man. Very excited to have you guys here. I'm Chris, alongside Bob Gillespie.
What up?
Just going to be giving you Big East coverage throughout the season. Hopefully see how long this takes us and stuff. But we're sophomores at Marquette. I am from New Jersey, so I grew up a Seton Hall basketball fan. So I'm not too biased for Marquette. I don't know about Bob. Maybe Bob could tell you a little bit about himself. This is Bobby G, by the way.
The one and only.
The one and only.
I'm from St. Louis, so I grew up a St. Louis University Billikens fan. Had a lot of fun in the Rick Majerus era until he fortunately passed away. I never really was big into Mizzou and not really Marquette. I was into Notre Dame. My older siblings went there. But just got into Marquette basketball recently, and I've been exploring the college basketball world. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I kind of had this idea to start this up. I decided Bob, he's the main guy because he's all over Twitter, and he has some hot takes. You guys are gonna love some of the shit he says.
Some hot takes.
So it should be exciting. Started off though, we don't want to get too long with the intros because we don't want John Fanta watching this falling asleep. We're gonna start down with the breakdown from the Monday to Thursday of the past Monday and Thursday. We're starting off with Providence College and Georgetown. PC continue to be dominant. They won this game on the road too, which is, although Georgetown sucks, it's still good to see them winning on the road. They were actually down 3 at half. They had a very bad half, and they shot 48% from 3. Georgetown 17% from 3. I don't know what Patrick Ewing's doing.
Patrick Ewing's got to go.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that.
That team's a dumpster fire.
You think his legacy is in jeopardy?
Well, I mean, you got the problem that he's a legacy at the school. I mean, he graduated from there. He played basketball on some good teams at Georgetown, and they bring in this guy, and they bring him in, and then you have the problem of, well, we can't. It's kind of hard to fire him because you don't want to alienate one of your best players of all time. But at the end of the day, he sucks. This Patrick Ewing is a terrible coach. Yeah. I think we can all see that. They've gone winless in conference play, which is pretty terrible.
You can't forget about that run though last year.
Yeah, I mean they had that little miracle run in the tournament or in the Big East tournament, but I don't think it really means much in the long grand scheme of things.
Sure. Marquette, UConn, Tuesday before the night. I would say Tuesday at dawn or something. Was it 5 o'clock? What was that game?
I think it was 6:30.
I think it was 5:30. It was 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. Yeah.
But Marquette couldn't rebound a damn ball, man. They got out rebounded 46-27 on the glass. They also struggled free throw shooting somewhat. They shot 65% from the line. UConn 42% from 3. Do you see them as a good 3-point shooting team? Because I really don't. Even though they shot well.
Yeah, I think they're a good 3-point shooting team. I think they're like Marquette, where if they shoot the ball well from 3, it's really hard to beat them. Mm-hmm. And I think they're a little bit better than Marquette, at least right now, because they showed us what happens when you have one of the best rebounding teams in the country go against one of the worst. Yeah. I mean, it hurts. I mean, you can't beat a team when you're giving up that many rebounds, especially offensive rebounds. And there was that one sequence at the end of the game where Marquette was giving up I don't know, I think they gave up 3 offensive rebounds in a row. Yeah. And UConn held onto the ball for a minute. Huh. And you could see it was just demoralizing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that game just showed us, it confirmed that UConn sweeping Marquette wasn't a joke. I think UConn is the better team. Mm-hmm. And as a Marquette fan, I hope we just don't meet them in the Big East tournament.
And what do you think about Dan Hurley? You think I saw this tweet earlier. I'll put it up on the video. I forget exactly what it was, but this is the lowest, the highest they've been ranked in KenPom, rankings in the past 4 years. Do you think this is Dan Hurley's year?
It could be. I mean, they're a good team. They got some young guys. I mean, they have a well balanced team, and they are a fairly old team, but they have Snogo. So, I mean, this year is definitely going to be one of his best years so far at UConn, if not his best. But, I mean, I see him having a long career at UConn. I mean, I think he has a bright future.
Snogo, RJ Cole, man, it's New Jersey basketball. It's hard to stop, especially with Dan Hurley from Jersey City.
Yeah, you're a big proponent of those Jersey guys.
They're tough. It's hard not to like the Jersey boys, but let's go on to Nova versus St. John's. Played at Madison Square Garden. Have you ever been to MSG, Bob?
No, I haven't.
You've never been to New York, have you?
Never been to New York. I've only been to D.C. when I was in 2nd grade.
All right. Well, Eric Dixon, he's been balling lately. He dropped 16. He's been averaging 12 points, 8 rebounds in the past 5 games. Nova actually led by 20 at one point, and but the Johnnies like pulled it back. I think Nova had a bad stretch throughout the game. Johnnies though they only shot 32% from the field, and Nova had 16 turnovers. Like just a
uncharacteristic.
solid overall game. I had Villanova -4 in that one, and they really won me some money. I'm struggling this week, gambling wise, but I'm gonna be okay. You know, I'm gonna get through it. Butler versus Creighton. Did you watch anything of that?
No, It's kind of hard to watch a Butler game.
Yeah.
They're not very exciting.
Yeah. Creighton had a last-second layup. Actually, it was exciting at the end. Creighton was down 4 at half. Butler is they're not good, but I like to think of them as like DePaul. They're a pest.
Yeah, they definitely are.
They beat Xavier, Creighton, right?
They beat Creighton too.
Yeah, Xavier last week too, I think.
Yeah, and they didn't just beat Creighton; they like blew them out of the gym. So I mean, I'm not scratching that off the schedule tomorrow when Marquette plays them.
Yeah. Xavier Seton Hall. That was last night, I think.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah, that came down to the wire.
Yeah.
It was poorly officiated, in my opinion. The refs, they were calling too many fouls. It was like, this is Big East basketball. Like,
that seems to follow Xavier and Seton Hall around for whatever reason. I feel like anytime I watch a game between those, not necessarily between those two, but a game that involves one of those two teams, I feel like there's just so many fouls.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't lie. But, yeah, there was 42 combined fouls. That game, Seton Hall kept missing their free throws at the end. That's something to look at. Do you like Kevin Willard as a coach?
I do. I think he struggled to fill the gap that Bryce Aiken has left because of his injury.
Yeah.
I think it showed. It almost reminded me of Wojo a little bit. I mean, they're obviously very different coaches, but I remember Wojo at Marquette whenever Marcus Howard wasn't in the picture, he just didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And that kind of seemed to me what was happening with Willard. I mean, they lost like 5 in a row or something.
Yeah. I don't know how many it was in a row, but they lost Bryce Aiken, and it kind of all went downhill. But now they beat Xavier, so hopefully they're on the uphill.
Yeah, but Xavier's looking a little
Xavier looks shit, too. I can't lie.
Towards the end of the year, yeah.
I hope all these teams don't slip and fall out of, good seeds for the tournament,
Yeah. It looks good on the conference whenever we
it does. Teams. But Georgetown, DePaul, last game to recap, nothing special, guys. DePaul took it to them. Yeah, DePaul's actually 9-5.
Classic basement game.
Yeah, DePaul's 9-5 at home in conference play. That's like pretty impressive, They're like the pest. Like they're the true pest of the Big East. They will play anyone hard, in my opinion.
I mean, we got in the notes Patrick Ewing legacy. I want to reiterate. I think it's bad for the Big East to have Patrick Ewing. I don't think it's good because the Big East is a stronger conference when Georgetown is good. They're one of the highest funded programs in the conference. They're on the level of Villanova and Marquette in terms of funding. And the fact that they suck total ass is not good. And I think the sooner they get rid of Ewing, or if a miracle happens and Ewing figures it out, I think the sooner that Georgetown is good again, the sooner the conference gets stronger.
Yeah, I feel that. So now we're done with recaps. Standout players of the week. We want to know what you guys think about standout players of the week. You can let us know. I know the Providence fans, they're going crazy about fucking Durham and shit. But my standout players of the week is Eric Dixon. That's obvious, Bob. Last 2 games, he's averaging 20 points per game, 9 rebounds, 9.5 rebounds. The guy he's turned up. Marquette shut him down well, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's been balling the past 2 games.
He's just another example of a Jay Wright player. I mean, he's highly touted coming out of high school. He's in, I think his 3rd year at Villanova. Yeah. He's just now starting to come out of his shell a little bit. So, I mean, it's just amazing how Jay Wright can continue to do that with players as more and more players leave the college basketball, sooner and sooner.
Adam Sunogo, another one. I feel like he stopped at Sunoco, the gas station. Fueled himself up. 24 points, 15 rebounds against Marquette. Yeah. How do you let that happen? That's like fucking...
I got to say, that was painful to watch as a Marquette fan.
That is terrible. 24 points, 15 rebounds. He's a beast, though. I can't lie. He's also from New Jersey. Well, he went to school in New Jersey, but he's just a beast, man. All of a sudden, this UConn looks like they're dangerous again.
Yeah, UConn looks really good right now. I'd say they're probably the second best in the Big East. Mm-hmm. It's not really clear to me who's the best right now. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people would say Providence, but they still haven't played Villanova.
Would you take Nova below UConn?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think we'd have to wait till the Big East tournament, but I think they're right up there with everyone else at the top of the conference. I mean, they swept Marquette, and Marquette's probably the hottest team in the conference.
Yeah. Xavier, though, Paul, what's his name? Paul Scruggs. Back-to-back 21-point games. He's been the only bright side in the past, week and a half with Xavier. But I always liked Paul Scruggs. He's low-key a bucket, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
he's amazing.
Yeah. But, yeah, back-to-back 21-point games for him. That's it for the standout players of the week. Now we're going to head over to, this is probably my favorite part of the first episode. It is, what is it? Big East players, the best Big East players by position so far. What's today's date? The February 9th?
February 11th.
February 11th.
Friday.
Big East player positions. Best
Well,
players
I think
by
I can
position.
start it off at point guard. I think everyone could probably agree Colin Gillespie at point guard.
Yeah,
He's
but-
not necessarily the biggest player of the year like a lot of people thought he would be this year, but he's definitely the best point guard.
See, I'm going to switch you up there. I'm going to go Posh Alexander as the
Really?
point guard, averaging 15 points, 5 assists. He can do it all. And then I would have Colin Gillespie as the shooting guard, although he can handle the ball well and stuff. He's only averaging like 2 assists a game. He's a scorer. He's an offensive threat. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have Posh take the ball up than Gillespie, but they're
Yeah.
both really good.
And I think if Aiken wasn't injured for a lot of the conference play, I think he'd be up there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We
He's
just
amazing.
haven't seen enough of him in the
Yeah.
conference. But, and then who you got for the forwards?
Obviously Justin Lewis. I mean, he's my favorite for the conference player of the year. And then probably Julian Champagne. Is that how you say his name?
Champagne.
Champagne? I never know how to say his name. On
I just
St.
say
John's.
Champagne. Shout out Champagne, by the way, if he's watching the pod.
He's a real baller. I mean, he can
is.
score.
First round pick, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 18 points a game, 6 rebounds a game. Obviously, Justin Lewis, he's been a bucket this year. We're not even being biased there. Like, if you guys disagree with
yeah.
us, like, you guys must be on some methamphetamine or something.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he's top 3 in the conference.
he
no
is.
doubt.
This is the big one. What would you have for center?
Center, I got to go with Adam Snogo. I mean, that
same.
guy's insane. I saw it myself watching the UConn Marquette game. That guy's the real deal.
He's technically a forward, too. Like, we know that, power forward or something. But, like, it's so weird in college
The way
basketball.
he
with the
rebounds.
positions. And the way he rebounds, he's, what is he? Top 3 in the Big East in rebounds. He deserves the center position.
I mean, he just took over the Marquette game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's it for that. This is the biggest part of the podcast, in my opinion, actually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to the next segment of the podcast. Exciting news. We're introducing Ryan McMillan to the podcast. He's the creator of NCAAHoopsNow on Instagram. It has about 26,000 followers. I'll pop it up on the screen now. You guys should all go follow it. It's probably the best Instagram page for college basketball. He's been following it for years. He's a journalist who's written for Zag blogs, probably other sites he could talk about in a second. Current Marquette manager. He's a basketball manager. Mainly does film and stuff with them. And his future is in journalism and college basketball, right?
Yeah.
talking about maybe going into assistant coaching and then maybe higher up the ladder.
I hope so. This is just a start. I just wanted to be a manager. I shot the video coordinator here at Marquette. Shout out to Deshaun Wells. I shot him a DM over the summer. And he got back to me. He said, when you come back to campus, we can have an interview. And then here I am today. So
Yeah,
grateful for
I
it.
feel like I hope the fans know that just how big of a deal this is because he's kind of behind. He's hidden behind the screens. This college page is big. He's met a lot of college hoopers. Who do you think is the top college hooper that you've met? Maybe even if he was in high school. Like who's like the biggest
Like biggest name?
influence? Yeah, biggest name.
I would have to go LaMelo Ball probably.
Yeah.
Just because imagine with the NIL, what's going on now, if that was around, if he ended up going to college.
I know.
He'd make $5 million off of in college as a freshman.
Yeah,
So I'd say him.
Pretty
for
amazing.
Sure.
Now, mainly what you've been doing ever since you got into college basketball, you've been like looking at a lot of high school ball and like recruiting. And now you obviously are doing some more recruiting stuff for Marquette. You see a lot of players. What's something that you think that a lot of coaches are looking for these days and guys that are in high school? And I mean, obviously they're going to look for a scorer or a rebounder, but is there anything in particular that you guys are looking for when you're looking for a player, just like any other coaches in college?
I think a big thing nowadays is just being a leader. Like, you can never have too many leaders, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say guys who are good with their teammates. They're just more than a basketball player. They're better people than they are on the court. I think that's just, you ultimately want to build a locker room full of guys who get along with each other. And I think being a leader is the first step in that direction.
Let's transition over to NCAA Hoops Now. When did you start that page, and what gave you the idea to start that page?
Yeah, so I started in 7th grade, actually. Me and my friends had a sleepover. We had a snow day. I remember it like it was yesterday. And we were just we always talked about high school and college basketball, so I was like, all right, let's make an Instagram. Yeah. And then over the years, I've just kept growing, chipping away, trying new things, tried graphic designing and then writing, and just ultimately kind of like developed it over time. So, yeah.
Nice. And how has your time been as a Marquette manager so far?
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of things that I didn't realize that go into behind the scenes stuff of running a very high major basketball program. I've just met a lot of people that can do anything with what they have in the industry, and I think that's something that I'm going to cherish forever.
That's good. Future plans with you, so you're trying to stay in college basketball, just be a college basketball analyst basically?
So this is my dilemma right now. I absolutely love journalism. I love the classes. I love the professors. So I'm going to ultimately get my journalism degree in 4 years, and then I have a decision to make after. Do I want to stay as a basketball journalist, as a college basketball or high school basketball journalist, or do I become a graduate assistant, which is like the first step for those watching of how you get into coaching. You start off as a graduate assistant. It's like in between being a manager and a coach. So you kind of learn how to coach and stuff like that. So ultimately, if I can get a good position with a graduate assistant, I would love to do that, just stay in college basketball. But wherever life takes me.
No, I had a question. Let me know if it's I don't want to incriminate you with your job or anything, but you obviously work under Shaka Smart, and we have all seen the success that he's had in his first year at Marquette. What kind of energy does he give off that, like, he almost seems like a larger than life figure around Marquette, and like it's almost like magical how he just like turned a team around. Why do you think he's so successful, and why do you think he's special?
That's a great question. I think he's really special because of the relationships he has with everyone within the program. He's huge on relationships. You see it everywhere in the practice facility. It's stuff about relationships is up on the wall, and he's just great with the guys, and he just clicks with everyone within the program. And he's also huge on energy. You don't see a lot of coaches fist bumping the air after the team gets 3 stops in a row like that. So I think the energy is just contagious within the guys on the team, guys in the locker room, but then also the fans too. It's exciting to watch ultimately.
Yeah.
Anything else, Bob?
Not right now.
Ryan is one of our good friends too, so we do want to thank him for coming on to the first episode.
Yeah, he's officially our first guest.
I appreciate it.
It's all about guests on these podcasts, and for Ryan to come out here and help us, he didn't just hop in this podcast. Like, he helped us with the producing stuff like that, and we hope he sticks around for future episodes just to hang out and stuff.
For sure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, everybody, man. I appreciate y'all checking out that Ryan McMillan interview. Once again, thank you, Ryan, for hopping in and talking to us. We are now audio only because we have an SD card issue, but we are very grateful we got that interview on video. So that is good at least. Not going to have much else in the pod. We are going to do a little gambling talk, a little rundown of the last week's plays and values. Last week, this is what I had personally. I took Xavier plus 3.5. That was kind of an easy call for me. I can't lie to y'all. Seton Hall, I knew they were home. I know they were playing at the Prue Center, but they just really were struggling before that. Minus 3.5, I thought was a little too much, so I locked in Xavier plus 3.5, and luckily it hit. The Paul money line is another pick I had. This one you had to put a lot more units on because the value wasn't great. It's probably in the minus 200s, but I hammered that shit because I knew they were gonna win. They were actually a pretty dominant team at home. And also, I'm sorry about my voice, by the way. I'm dealing with a little is it laryngitis or laryngitis?
I'm not sure.
A little laryngitis. I have a respiratory infection. Could be COVID. Might not be. Who knows? You know, it's a yellow type of day. But let's keep going. Marquette plus 6.5. This was the one that beat me up because I put a lot of money on it. Marquette was like 13-8 at the spread at the time. They were a good team betting with the spread, and I know they were playing UConn away, but plus 6.5. I was like, this is going to be a close game, man. And they ended up losing by 8, so that did not cover. Nova -4 was free money. I get it was at the Garden and stuff, and Vegas thought. Vegas, honestly, isn't that good with the Big East, so if you guys take advice, like take my advice, I can help y'all win some money here because Vegas is low-key a joke when it comes to Big East lines.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Marquette was on its winning streak. I'm pretty sure they beat the spread every time.
Yeah, they did probably. Bob, I got something here for you. Actually, I don't. PC spread. That was actually free money. I actually don't have shit for you. My bad, Bob. Yeah, PC took down Georgetown. They covered the spread. First half though was looking a little scary, but they covered. Bob's not big on the whole gambling thing, which is smart. I don't abuse it or anything like that. It is fun to just talk about.
Right.
So, I mean, it's good that Bob's not about that. What I can ask Bob is the weekend plays. UConn, Bob. Do you think UConn is going to lose by 1 or less? That still sounds complicated for you. You think UConn's going to beat Xavier?
Xavier?
Away.
Do I think they're gonna lose by 1 or less?
Yeah, or win. Or they can win.
They're gonna win.
See, yeah, Bob's not big on the spread type shit. Which
Xavier is a fumbling team right now.
Even in Cincy, though?
Yeah. I mean, UConn looks incredible right now. I mean, I'm just basing that off the Marquette game, but when you beat a team that's as hot as Marquette in the fashion that they did, I think UConn's a top 3 team in the Big East.
For sure. A little weekend parlay I have is Marquette spread. I know, like, the spread's not out yet. It's a game tomorrow. But I know for a fact that the spread's going to be, like, favor Butler a lot. Not favor them as much as minus, but Marquette might only be, like, -5.5 or some shit. That you have to lock in. They always bet Marquette spread. Vegas always does Marquette spread terribly. So lock in Marquette spread and create your money line in a parlay. Two-way parlay. Win some money. I would bet $50 to win however much the value is. I don't know. I don't know the plays yet. But so, Bob, what do you think about Marquette Butler?
I think Marquette's going to take that one. They're pissed off that they lost to UConn. Butler kind of sucks. But, like you said, Butler is a pest in the Big East, just like DePaul. And they are playing in Indianapolis. But I do have confidence that Marquette's going to get the job done.
Creighton, Georgetown, also on Saturday, I believe, in D.C.
Well, that's...
You think Creighton has a shot? You think Georgetown has a shot at their first win? No?
Georgetown is a joke.
You're not wrong there. Let's transition over around the conference segment. Basically, we just talk about Big East news, just our thoughts, what we think's going on, what we think's going to happen. Let's talk about Seton Hall first because they had a big win against Xavier. And do you think this is kind of like their ability to get back into the hunt? Plus, with Bryce Aiken coming back, do you think?
Oh yeah, I think with Aiken back, they're just going to be the team that they were. I think that it really depends on their ability to overcome adversity. Because if they're one of those teams that just says, fuck it, we suck, we're just giving up, then obviously they're not going to do well. But they respond well, they gel together with Aiken back, I think they're going to be just as dangerous as they were earlier in the year.
So, yeah, Bob, Mike Anderson, St. John's coach, he has the players, he has the resume to have a great season, to be a top 3 team in the Big East, but he's not. They're having a letdown season. St. John fans are mad. I understand. What does Mike Anderson have to do in order to save the season? Do you think if he even has a chance?
I think to save the season, they have to make it to the Big East semifinals. They are a team of a lot of transfers. So it's just a question of pretty much every other college team this year. A lot of people have transfers. About a quarter of college basketball has transferred over the offseason. So he's just got to figure out how to, make this team gel. And he's obviously not figuring that out too well so far. He does have Champagne, or how do you say his name? Champagne. Okay, I always struggle with that
Just
one.
say Champagne, brother. Cheers.
And obviously Posh Alexander. But he needs to get everyone on board. And I think they can. They got a good team. They just need to figure out how to play together.
Let's talk a little bit about the X. Xavier. Their season right now is looking like it's going to be an X. What have they lost? The past 3 games?
Yeah.
And lost to DePaul, too. They need to figure it out. What do you think they have to do in order to figure it out?
Well, obviously the loss to DePaul never looks good. They are reminding me a lot of past Marquette teams under Wojo. They tend to shit the bed in February. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't have a lot of confidence in Xavier right now. They've got some good scorers. They've got some good players, but I don't know. They just don't look. They look kind of weak right now. So I think they can figure it out, but I honestly don't see them going too far in the tournament.
Yeah. I also think they need to work Nunji more, the big.
Yeah.
He is huge and he can shoot. I think they have to find a way to work him and Paul Scruggs and even Adam Kunkel. Them three, they just got to form a big three and start playing better basketball.
Yeah.
I got a big question here for you now, Bob. It's February, 11th? Big East Player of the Year right now, Champagne or Justin Lewis?
Oh, Justin Lewis by far.
Without
And
being
I might
biased,
be
though,
biased.
this podcast can't be biased.
Oh, I'm 100% biased.
Okay.
Justin Lewis, but I don't even think I have to be biased. I think anyone who's seen him play over the past 9 games, the stretch that Marquette's been playing in, I mean, he's averaging I think in the winning streak, the 7-game winning streak, he was averaging 19 points a game or something like that. He had that winner at the Finn against Villanova. He's controlling his athleticism like he hasn't before in his career. I mean, last year he looked a little goofy on the court sometimes, like he just hadn't figured it out yet. But this year he just looks like he has it all together. And I think if he keeps playing the way he is, I really just don't think it's a question.
You could really
Obviously,
tell.
Champagne is a great player though, but I just think J. Lou has it together.
You could really tell that Justin isn't a freshman anymore. You know, because you're right. Last year he made a lot of freshman mistakes, and this year he just looks like he's coming in. And he's dominating. You know, he's not making the stupid errors. He's not no forced turnovers. None of that. He's not losing the ball. He's not putting up bad shots. He's putting up shots that he can make. And I remember, I believe it was the Villanova game away that they won by 3. At the start of the game, he was shooting 29% from 3, and now he's up into the high 30s. So he really has turned it around, shooting the ball from the perimeter, and
That's been what's been the difference for him.
Yeah.
And you could say Marquette. I mean, he wasn't making a lot of threes in the UConn game, and they lost. Just whenever this winning streak, I mean, it's been highlighted by the fact that Justin Lewis is making his shots. And he's always been good at the mid-range, but he's finally figured out how to shoot it from 3. And not just to shoot set shots, but he's been shooting off the dribble. He's been shooting pull-ups. It's amazing. It's like he's a completely new player just because of his three-point shot.
yeah, I would have to say Justin Lewis as of now, also because they're winning more games. He's an X factor.
Yep.
And although Champagne is too, they're not winning ball games that they need to win. So
Right.
that's what comes down to it. Eric Dixon now center for Villanova. He's been a beast recently. What I want to talk to you about is this Villanova versus Providence 2-game slate that's coming up in I think it's not for a couple weeks actually, maybe next week or something. But they play back-to-back weeks. They play each other. What do you think is going to go on with that 2-gamer? You think they split? You think they go Nova sweeps? You think PC sweeps? What do you think?
I don't know. I still think until Providence beats Nova, I think that Nova's the better team. But Providence really is no joke. I mean, they only have 2 losses. That's nothing to sleep on. But I still think that Villanova is the better team until they lose to Providence.
Yep. I agree. I think if I had to choose, I think Nova would sweep them. I think they'd go and they'd beat Providence on their home floor, give Providence their first loss.
Yep.
Their first loss in the home court. But I also think it could split. I can't see Providence, though, sweeping the series.
No, it's Villanova's series to lose.
Yeah, it really is. Big East Coach of the Year, though, Bob. We got Ed Cooley, Shaka Smart. Who do you got to go with here?
I got to go with Ed Cooley. I mean, as much as I love Shaka as a Marquette fan, and he has turned this program around, we're not at the level of Providence right now, despite the fact we did blow them out earlier in the year. But we've split the series with them. Providence is, 20-2? It's just amazing what Ed Cooley's done with that team. I think he could be not just Big East Coach of the Year. I think he could be National Coach of the Year.
He's low-key a beast, man. I got into a lot more about his story, and then his come up and stuff like that, and it was crazy. It was a crazy story. So if people don't really know like the past of Ed Cooley, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, it's been a good first show, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's been fun.
Yeah, we're lucky to have McMullen on, talking a little bit about
thank you again to Ryan McMullen, Marquette basketball manager.
It was good to hear about his time at Marquette as a manager and just everything he's seen in college hoops. We want to thank you guys for listening, everyone that's listened to the first episode. It's been a great episode, Bob. Man, I can't ask for a better episode and a better host. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's going to be a good trip.
I think so. I think we'll keep this train rolling.
Yeah.
And see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week, man. Go Marquette.
Go Marquette.
Yeah.
The weather so chill, chilly, willy, penguin feather road. Cause I'm sipping pro. Yeah, that meth pro. Promethazine. Yeah, stepping stone. Oh, they acting up. Get your weapons wrong. They only killing time. Another second gone. I heard your man at home. Now you melatonin.